What we're trying to change is to change Obama's policy on embryonic stem cell research to be funded by the government. We want to change this back to Bush's policy to prevent any government funding of embryonic research. The significance of this is that the destruction of embryos is morally wrong, and the government shouldn't be involved in this if people believe, the American population doesn't believe that they should. The federal funding for this is expensive. There's many other sources of stem cell research that can be used, and there are side effects of embryonic stem cell research. The problem is Obama's policy is funding all stem cell research, including embryonic stem cell research made from embryos, and that should be changed back to Bush's policy. Reverting back to Bush's policy, we'll put no embryonic stem cell research being funded by the government, and the government doesn't have the right to decide if killing human lives is beneficial for society. There's many better alternatives to embryonic stem cell research. The University of Buffalo had a study that healthy heart cells from animals was used on people with chronic heart conditions, and these stem cells that was used from them increased healthy heart cells from being recreated by 30%, which would be very helpful for people who maybe have had a heart attack or strokes or any other ailment that damaged their heart severely. What they used on these cells is cardiosphere heart cells from animals, and they showed that it was effective in increasing it. There's also many other things that products for stem cells that could be used after birth without injuring the embryo at all. A team led by Dr. Derek J. Ross at Children's Hospital in Boston, his group artificially used skin cells from adults and sent signals to those skin cells and changed them back into stem cells that are almost identically the same as embryonic stem cells and almost have the exact same purpose and just as useful. But products that can be used after birth, menstrual blood, all the blood that that can come out from a birth has many stem cells in it. This can be taken and harvested and turned into adult stem cells that could be used to help people. They take this and they freeze it and store it for later so it can be used during any time. They also can take the placenta or the blood that's from the cords and also use that to create stem cells. Clinical application for these stem cells have shown harvested from cord blood indeed have treatment potential. So far, 6,000 Americans have received cord blood transplants. Mainly, most of these people have had leukemia, so these stem cells have been used to treat leukemia. This was from Reality Check of Embryonic Stem Cells Alternatives from ABC News. There's also procedures that can be used that will not harm embryos whatsoever. This is anionic stem cells. It's when they take the watery substance that's protecting the baby, just a small amount of it, and they could use this, and that this would be able, they could use the harness the potential of themselves to convert them into other cells to help people. It is also morally wrong and ethically wrong to kill some embryo because it's life. We use cloning, and cloning proves that conception, that life begins at conception, because when they clone, they take DNA and put it into an egg, and to them that is life. So life is at conception, and at any time it shouldn't be destroyed. There's also a law that was passed a while ago called the Dickey Amendment It has prohibited federal funding of any research in which a human embryo or embryo is destroyed, discarded, or knowingly subjected to risk or injury or death. So there's already substance out there to prohibit them from actually doing that. Also, many people don't understand that understanding of embryonic development of cloning technology could force not only those who participate in embryonic stem cell research specifically, but also in-vitro fertilization. In-vitro fertilization is creating embryos inside of a lab. So basically, they're creating life in a lab and then also destroying it. And I don't believe that no one should have the right to be able to create and destroy life. There's also embryonic stem cells have to have a lot of safeguards that are met and have to be approved by the FDA to be used in treatments. And many of the people have trouble reaching the safeguards, and if the safeguards aren't met, they could show that it is not safe to be used. There's also side effects that are harmful of embryonic stem cell. First, one major complication of embryonic stem cell research is you have to take drugs so that you will never reject the new tissue that is being used. Second, embryonic stem cells that are injected into adult humans could produce tumors. Also, in March 8, 2001, New England Journal of Medicine, there's a tragic side effects experience involving an insert of fetal brain tissues in a Parkinson's disease patient, and he started to have uncontrollable movements. He started to have seizures, and he ended up there's just this horrible side effects of what he was using. There's also a huge price increase since the lift of Bush's policy. Embryonic stem cell research has gone up about 3 times. It went from 39 million to 88 million. It almost went up 3 times as much since 2006 and to 2008, showing that we've spent a lot of money using stem cell research that could have been used in something else that is just as effective. So, my main point is basically that we should go back to Bush's policy because there's other things that could be used.